Julia Cahill, Estates Gazette's Deputy Editor, and I'm here today in leafy Ealing Broadway with the compiler of our Estates Gazette Richest, which is out this weekend with Estates Gazette. So I've come to talk to Dr Philip Beresford, who has the hard task of coming up with the figures that make this list, and we're here to chat about the story this year. So Philip, we've seen two really dire years. The super rich haven't been immune from it at all. What's the story this year? Are they starting to benefit from the recovery?
Slight recovery, which is good news given that we all want the property sector to look better, because if it starts to recover, then the recovery will percolate throughout the rest of the economy. So slight recovery from 69 billion to 72 billion, which is good news. And you know, we've seen some of the old favourites like the Duke of Westminster still doing well. The London property big players like the Al Cadogan, the Howard de Walden family, all doing well because people round the world who've got money want to live in London because it's one of the world cities, and they're propping up Mayfair markets, the Marylebone markets, those big estates, and they've also been extraordinarily sensible, the owners, by upgrading them, not just living on their past glories, but upgrading them. I mean, you only have to go and look down Marylebone High Street to see how fantastic, what a fantastic job the Howard de Walden family have made of that area. It's a real destination place to go in London now, and the Portman family are doing exactly the same in their neck of the woods.
And are there any other sort of big survival stories away from the landed estates?
I mean, the Reuben brothers, who are right high up there as number 2, have done very well out of their global switch digital business, which is the cash cow that has pushed their wealth upwards. And you know, they sit there in the property sector just waiting for opportunities to spend the money that they've made in global switch, or will make if and when it floats. The bad news story, of course, is Ireland. I mean, we have this is a British and Irish rich list. Although the people from the north of Ireland, in Northern Ireland, have done not too bad at all. The property players there, because the market hasn't been as badly affected as in the south. But I mean, the southern property players, the survivors, I imagine, are keeping their heads down now against the rage of the population of Dublin, Cork, etc., who must be furious that the antics of property players, banks and government has laid low what was the Celtic tiger.
Yeah. So how have you dealt with that then in this year's?
It's been very, very difficult. I mean, between us, we've weeded out as many as we can, and we desperately hope and are praying that we have got rid of everybody we should have got rid of. I mean, obviously we operate on looking at legal documents, company accounts, but some of them are a bit dated, and we're even more cautious in downgrading. But I just worry that, you know, I hope and pray that we haven't allowed anyone who shouldn't be in to slip through, because, I mean, in this climate, you can appear rich one day and the banks call in loans, the whole empire can dissolve. And we've only got to look at Sean Quinn, you know, who was Ireland's richest person a few years ago, and he's just not in our list anymore. You know, the world has completely gone mad in Ireland. You know, they just don't know what's happening there. The economy is tanked out. Yeah,
but away from that, you've been seeing slight rises for most of the
you know, by definition, the people in our rich list now, because we've been cautious for so long, are the ones who've got good balance sheets, strong net assets, low borrowings, and you know, that's what we look for all the time. So they were the survivors, and they've come through 2 years of hell. So if they've survived that long, they should be able to survive anything. And, you know, that's why we've seen that slight uptick. They are, you know, the real
Mm.
property players.
Mm. So you mentioned earlier legal documents. Just talk us through how exactly do you reach these figures, because there are some really complex structures to wade through out there, aren't they?
Yes.
And to reach a sort of reasonable figure, how does it come about?
I look obviously at all the company accounts that I possibly can. Look at the net assets, we look at the profits, and we run on the net assets, maybe slightly discounted. We look at the level of gearing, and we love companies with low gearing, high net assets. Better still, that make healthy profits and the owners don't go and lead a wild lifestyle with huge salaries and dividends. Yeah. It's much better for their long-term survival if they just plough it back into the business to keep the borrowings down, so that in these difficult climates, the banks are their servants, not their masters. Mm. You know, all the best entrepreneurs, property entrepreneurs, everywhere else that I talk to say that, you know, they just find the bank's behaviour atrocious, you know, in the last couple of years. Absolutely atrocious, the way they behaved. And they never ever want to be in a position of being servants to the banks at their beck and call, you know, constant demands for more money, margin calls being made instantly on any properties, and, you know, whole businesses could be turned, you know, business empires could just disappear. Not that, you know, our people we've got left are the real, as I said earlier, the real survivors, the top-notch players.
Yeah.